All right, so on this next one, it says the function g is a transformation of the parent cosine function such that g of x is equal to 3 cosine of x plus 2, close parentheses, plus 1. Which graph represents g? Now, we could just put this in a graphing calculator and see, but what I'm going to try something different. Remember that, let me go to this previous slide real quick. Remember that for cosine, we have this same thing where a times sine, but it's the same for cosine. A times sine, and then there's times the quantity b times the quantity x minus c, close all the parentheses, plus d, where a is the amplitude, the period is affected by b, c is what we call the horizontal shift, and d is the vertical shift. So I'm going to transform from the regular cosine to g of x. So to do that, I'm going to say y equals a times cosine, and oops, I went a little too fast. Whenever you have a, you gotta. I'm just going to put a. Then I'm going to type cosine. Then start parentheses, put b. Start parentheses. Well, this is what I don't like. X. And then I'm going to put x minus c. I'm creating these sliders so you can watch as we literally plus d. All right. So regular cosine is a equals 1, b equals 1, c equals 0, and d equals 0. So this is what cosine normally looks like. This is just cosine of x, right? In fact, if I were to put that down here, you can see it. And see how it maps right on top of it? So now let's do the transformation. So the first thing we do is we're going to change the amplitude, which is a. So as I increase a, what I'm doing is I'm stretching this vertically. So when I make a equal 3, notice that this goes from 1 up to 3. This goes from -1 down to 3. Okay? Now b is going to stay 1, but the next thing we need to change is c. C goes to positive 2. But now this is an interesting thing. In order to make it a positive 2, I have to make c a negative 2, right? Because the formula has a negative. Now what that does is it's going to slide it to the left 2. Because the formula has a negative sign in there. So in order for me to get x plus 2, I have to think x minus minus 2. And what that did is it just shifted it to the left 2 units. That's why we go the opposite direction. Now the next thing we need to do is d. Now d is the vertical shift, so I'm just going to slide it up 1. So as I increase d, it just slides the function up. So this was the original function, and that's the transformed function. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of that real quick and we'll put it in there. And that's it. So when you go to look at the graph, you're going to look for one that looks similar to that.